My name's Justin Levitt. I'm a professor over at the law school, and I was part of the advisory committee that helped move LA from a system that was born in the 70s, basically, that was really old and really clunky, to the system that many people, if they went in person, used over the last couple days and today on Election Day.
Between Bloomberg and Biden and Bernie, there was one other beat to look out for on Super Tuesday: the brand new LA voting platform. We spoke to Professor Levitt, one of the great minds behind the project, about what this change means.
So I'm a new voter, so to me it seemed like it was, a great system, but I don't really have any point of comparison. Can you describe what the old system was like?
Yeah, the old system looked an awful lot like the system you might have heard of from Florida in 2000, the Bush versus Gore election with hanging chads. The reason that anybody knows what a hanging chad is, we used to have a system where you marked down on little bubble like automatic scan ballots with an ink stamp, but you had a separate question book and a separate answer sheet, and things didn't always align right, and the paper got bent or the paper got lost. It was a badly designed system in a lot of ways, which is why LA started 10 years ago to try and move to something else, to try and move to something different. It took 10 years to develop the system we were using today, which I hope felt really natural. It felt like the sort of tech you're used to using, that you use at work or that you use at school. And I think that's what most of LA voters will find, that this system sort of fits their lives a whole lot better than having to, counterintuitively, than having to learn an older voting system from the 70s when they went to vote, because it's the last time anybody's used a system like that.
And is this system comparable to any other cities' systems?
It's really unique. It looks a tiny little bit like some other systems, but LA looked around. LA is the biggest jurisdiction by far in the country. It's as big as about 40 other states. And it has a really diverse population. And so when LA looked around for a system it can use, it didn't find anything on the market that really fit the bill for the size or the diversity of LA's population. So we built our own. It's the first publicly owned voting system anywhere in the country, and LA's got it. When it's designed for LA, it's designed for everywhere. If it can handle, and it had some troubles today, but if it can handle the size and the turnout and the diversity of LA's population, it's made for people who are longtime voters and people who are new for the first time. It's made for people with disabilities and people who don't have disabilities. It's made for older voters and younger voters and people with language access concerns. It's designed for LA's diversity. And so the thought is that actually a lot of other jurisdictions, including some that look a little bit like LA and some that look nothing like LA, may turn out they want it too.
So what are the concerns that you mentioned, or some of the issues that might have popped up?
So a few of the machines broke, and a few of the machines didn't start up right. That happens pretty much all the time, but more broke than should have. And the replacement system that was used to get people through the system smoothly didn't work quite as well as that should have. That, I can hope, will get ironed out for the general election in November, but a few people were frustrated with the experience, particularly as the day got later today. I will say the early reports from people voting yesterday and back 11 days ago is when voting started in LA. And a lot of the people were not only happy with the experience, they were overwhelmed by the experience. There were people who were voting for the first time who thought this was amazing, and people who were voting for the 5th, 6th, 7th time who thought this was amazing because finally LA has a system that looks like it's joining the 21st century rather than something that got passed down from an older generation and older generations before that and before that and before that.